But then for some reason, there's like this preconceived notion that because somebody's a family member that you have to put up with like an extra amount of shit from them or like an extra amount of abuse that you wouldn't tolerate from other people. And I like, that's not true at all.
It's a hard call. I know I couldn't imagine walking away from my family.
It's on one of these numbers. That's what I'm going to do anyway. Get this mic. Man, this is way better. Like, you're closer to the mic. You have like no option but to be that close to the mic, making this sound a lot better.
We should build a podcast room.
Yeah, ideally. That'd be cool. On it. We're doing so much better. I've learned a lot of hard lessons. So it's all brand new, man. What are you going to do? Tough break.
We can salvage the other one, though. We will. I'm paying the editor to fix it.
Why?
Because it's good.
Is it?
It was good enough.
I don't like that.
I enjoyed it. It's good enough to salvage. We should not sacrifice a great night of recording because you couldn't get the audio.
Sir, it's not that. It's like every 15 seconds I had to splice, move the audio forward a bit.
Great. Let him do it.
Every 15 seconds.
I don't care. If he said he was willing to do it, let him.
Did you tell him that part?
I did. The audio's out of sync. Can you fix it? He goes, yes. Great.
Okay, no, he's thinking like, fix it at the beginning, go to the end, make sure it's lined up there, then it lines up with the rest. That's what I'm going to have to do.
He didn't ask questions. That's not my problem. I said, can you fix this problem I have? And I wasn't misleading. He said yes. I say, okay, we move on.
That sounds like the kind of guy that like knows he has herpes but doesn't say anything until like it's too late.
No.
Because they didn't ask. You didn't ask if I have herpes. You didn't say, hey, is that an ingrown hair?
No, there's a difference. There's a difference. The guy has herpes, mentions it. They didn't ask if I was having an outbreak now.
That's so fucked. That's so fucked. What are we going to podcast about today then?
You had the topic.
I didn't.
Toxic family members.
Oh, Jesus. Are we going to... This is going so great.
You chose this topic yesterday.
Yeah. But now I'm in a happier mood. I want to talk about sad things. I thought we were re-recording Tinder.
No, that one is safe.
You think?
I think so. We will attempt to salvage it, and if it doesn't work out, my God, how many remotes?
There's a lot. I can't believe you drank that fucking water with the shit floating in it.
It's just calcium buildup.
Is that all?
Sir, I've been to many foreign countries.
Yeah.
I know when to drink the water and when not to. When people complain about Arizona fucking water that comes from the ground, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where does it come from? The Colorado River?
It comes from the Colorado River, and it comes from our aquifers. And I'm sorry, when people complain about our water, some of the best water in the country, fuck off. Like, you legitimately have a hard time.
I take my water very seriously.
I do, too. You'll have a hard time finding better water.
I think you have a hard time finding better tap water.
Yes.
Better water? I don't know.
God, you're such a water snob. I hope you get stuck on an island someday and all you have to drink is like whatever they have. And then you shit your brains out for like 2 weeks with diphtheria and you're like, okay, I'll be okay now. And you realize...
I hate having the mud butt, man.
The Hershey squirts?
Yeah. I've had mud butt for like since we ate that Texas Roadhouse. Like, I've been straight peeing out of my butt.
No, I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm going to vomit.
No, see, it wasn't the nausea for me.
I shit my brains out. Don't get me wrong. But I wasn't nauseous. I was like, my body's like, I'm going to reject this now. And it didn't. Testament to the tank I have here. Didn't reject it. But it was like, I'm debating it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No, I've been fucking wrecked, man. Like, my ass is... She's raw.
Chapped.
Chapped
ass.
She's chapped.
Rickety wrecked.
God damn. Trying to think about the things that I want to talk about today.
How you've had to abandon most of your family because they were toxic.
Damn, we're really going to go with that, huh?
You don't have to let it make you unhappy. If anything, it should be a celebration of your accomplishment of leaving toxic people.
That's fair. I was just in like a goofy mood.
We can be goofy. We're talking about your mud butt.
It's misery. I'd rather just get punched right in the face. If you told me like that the shits would go away right now, if you just decked me in the face, oh, hands down, would take it. Would let you punch me as hard as you want in the face.
Devon,
Yeah.
I can fix your mud butt.
I don't like where this is going.
I can fix it.
How's that?
Because at least if I deck you and it knocks you out, you won't care about your guts anymore.
Oh, that's fair. Fuck. Yeah, maybe that does sound kind of nice. All right. Well, I mean, I think. Yeah. Wow. The toxic family members, man. I think this is probably hit home for a lot of people. I think.
It's a hard topic.
Yeah, and I think you're like the very rare exception.
I know.
Yeah, like it's real rare, which is nice because like obviously
There are healthy households out there still.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like as surprising as the fact that there are actually more securely attached people than anxiously attached. And when I found that out, I was like, there's no way. There's no fucking way. Majority of people are securely attached. I'm like, that's not fucking possible.
Yeah, like my family's great. I love my family. People are like, why do you want to spend so much time with them? I'm like, because they're awesome.
Yeah.
I'm awesome. They made me.
Right.
Like, that's how this equation works. You know why you like me so much? Those guys built me. Which is how
I
that
don't
works.
understand it, man. I mean, I'm happy for you. I love that. That's great that you have that. But it just seems to me like that the majority of people just don't have that.
I would say you might have confirmation bias. You need to be careful.
Maybe so. But
Because you have a certain upbringing.
yeah.
And so you gravitate or only visualize people that have that problematic upbringing.
That's fair. I mean, that's a real thing. I think it's more like the securely attached people being more common than the insecurely attached or the anxiously attached that was like more surprising to me.
It's always easier to have a flaw or a defect, right? Because it's easier to not be strong. So you might see that, but I don't think it's the norm.
I don't know. I'll be curious to see what people say about that, like how they respond to that, these like past couple statements. But yeah, so walking away from family, walking away, the majority. I still, I'm real close to like my siblings.
Yeah, you successfully walked away from your family.
Yeah, it's been like, April was like over a year. Holy shit.
That's impressive.
What? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Damn, it was a year. That's insane.
It's impressive.
I didn't even realize that. It was a last-ditch effort, for sure. I mean, that was definitely not something that I was just like threw my hands up in a fit of rage and was like,
I'm done
screw you.
here.
Yeah, like screw you guys. Like, you're pissing me off. I'm not doing this. Like, it was nothing like that. It was very long and drawn out. Actually, my older brother kind of like was the first one to step out, and it took me like years later before I did the same. But yeah, it's kind of a long drawn out process, and I think that like so often people get stuck in like these manipulative and like damaging relationships, abusive relationships, even with their family members. That like outside of somebody being your family member, you'd be like, oh, dude, no way, like get out of that. That's horrible, But then for some reason, there's like this preconceived notion that because somebody's a family member that you have to put up with like an extra amount of shit from them or like an extra amount of abuse that you wouldn't tolerate from other people. And I like that's not true at all. And I think maybe that was part of my hesitation to walk away from all that stuff. But I don't know. I can tell you since then, like my life has improved tenfold.
Good.
Like in every way, shape, and form. Like physically, emotionally, for sure emotionally. Spiritually, every aspect, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
it's a hard call. I know I couldn't imagine walking away from my family. I have no need.
Right, and like I'm so curious, like, even to hear, like, we don't even have to talk about like the whole episode about my process of walking away from the family. I mean, like, I'll definitely touch base on that for those people that maybe are at a place where they're like, hey, like I'm definitely thinking about it, or I've been thinking about it, and I really need a little bit of maybe just some validation of like, hey, it's okay to do this. But yeah, absolutely touch base on why you don't have that, or why you haven't walked away from your family, or why you are super close. And
I'm going to go ahead and lead into that. My family was pretty religious, right? But not the kind of religious where they like talk about it, my parents really stuck with it.
Yeah.
They, religion has been at the forefront of our relationship. Like my father's a very devout Muslim. He don't screw around. Like
Yeah.
he's not like the artificial ones that we talk about here. Like they they'll drink, they'll have sex, but like they won't eat pork. Like that's it's like a running joke. No, I don't. No.
I'm messing with you.
I don't drink. I don't do any of this.
You don't drink? What?
No. I gave up alcohol.
I know you did.
I never liked it.
I was jabbing you over the sex thing, the coitus.
I'm a flawed
The macaroni in the pot.
Stop it. Don't do that.
You know that's a pretty accurate description.
Yeah.
That really is. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Exactly.
No, but, so they were pretty devout. My mother's Catholic. She's pretty devout.
He said yes, and anyway, my mom's Catholic.
He goes to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
She prays every night. And so I think they both went into a relationship like religious moral values. Not because they had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I find nowadays we have to discuss like, hey, are we going to be religious or not when it's convenient?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm atheist, but I'm not like a religion basher or hater. Like I'm not going to just like, obviously, I mean, we're friends.
We get into more heated arguments about water.
Yeah, right. Definitely more heated arguments about water than we do religion.
Yeah.
But,
You're not militant about it, and neither am I.
No.
Yeah.
No need.
But like I was saying, right? My parents both devoutly religious.
Yeah.
And they kind of just went into it like, hey, this is what I am, that's what you are, cool. We're going to raise our kids fearing God. And I went through my phases. Like I had to explore the God thing for a while where
I remember that.
I experimented with like, God, what do I believe here? And how does that line up with my internal dialogue? And realistically, Christianity was okay. Catholicism was out. Judaism was never an option.
That's
for
like
me.
the general consensus now, I feel like, is like, no offense to Catholics, but
Sorry, guys.
You're just wrong. Sorry.
Well, to be fair, I go to Christian church because I enjoy the way they preach. But I don't.
No, you like their coffee shops. I remember this. We went to a Christian church years ago.
I do really enjoy their coffee shops, yes. But the point is, I like the way they preach. Like they sit there, they try to level with you, they try to explain to you something in a more modern way. I just don't get on board with the whole Jesus is your savior.
That's fair.
Thing. So I ended up as a Muslim. I go to mosque.
It's cool.
I'm not a great Muslim. I'm trying. I'm working at it though.
Right.
But I can still appreciate both Christianity and Islam. Right.
So religion then you're saying is like the cornerstone of the family strength?
You could say I'm like religiously fluid.
No, I'm asking like if it's like the cornerstone of like your family's strength.
Oh,
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
For sure. We have all a very strong faith in God.
I could see that because I think that the main problem with my family, if there ever was a way to sum it up to like one thing, which was not, but I would say a big problem was there was nobody had anything in common. Nobody.
That's a big deal.
No one had anything in common. Like, my dad had his passions, had his things that he liked. He liked them so much that he just, like, was absent. And then my mom wanted one thing and, got the other and then, like, was just in her own trauma and pain from that. And it just nobody got on the same page, man. No, and nobody healed. Nobody healed.
I'm going to make an argument towards that, though. So, my father is an engineer.
Okay. My
mother is an artist. They're pretty polar opposites in the way that they think and that they function.
Yeah.
Right? So, the things that they like to do, I could fall either way, right?
Sure.
I could do one, I could do the other. What I've decided is if I want to get along with these people, I make the conscious effort of just adapting. Like, if I want to spend time with my dad, let's go do what Dad wants to do.
That's fair.
And I get to spend time with my dad.
That goes both ways, though, I would say. That would be my counter to that.
Yes and no. It can go both ways, but you have to understand that if you have the capacity to understand that maybe they don't know how to flex. Not that they won't. They don't know how to, right? Like, God bless my dad. I love him to death.
Yeah.
The man's feet, the ground he walks on, I appreciate because he's such a good man. He has his thing set. I know that there's not much changing him, and when he does try, like, it doesn't go great, and that's not because he's being stubborn, like, doesn't throw a fit, but that's just not what he's really good at doing. And so instead of me throwing a fit, going, well, we only do what Dad wants to do, and that's why we don't have a great relationship, I say, okay, I'll just do what you want to do, and that's fine. I'm spending time with you. That's the point.
Yeah,
I love my dad enough that I will, whatever you want to do. Like, we have our routines, right?
Right.
I know he likes to cook, so I will adjust, and I'll enjoy cooking with him, right? So that means we go to Costco a lot. We go to Costco. That's our Sunday thing. That's our Sunday tradition. We go to Costco. We have fun. This weekend we had a hot dog. It's great.
Perfect.
My mother and I, like, we'll sit and chit chat. That's what we want to do. She wants to chit chat. Let's chit chat. Or she wants to watch a murder mystery or something, right?
Yeah.
Is it what I want to do? No. But I want to spend time with my mom. So that's what we'll do. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's time with them that I'll never get back if I didn't take it.
Yeah. That's fair. I love that for you, man. That sounds like super wholesome, super healthy, super great.
I think a lot of people put into emphasis like, well, it's got to be a two-way street. Not always.
Not always. No, I'm not suggesting that. But, like, when it's, like, one-way street for, like, 24 or 5 years plus.
Well, again,
fuck yeah.
It depends on what you mean by that, right? So for me, like I'm saying, we always kind of do what Dad wants to do. We always kind of do what Mom wants to do. It doesn't bother me anymore. I love them. I just want to spend time with them.
Right.
And that's okay. Now, your people, if they're just sitting there being dickheads.
Yeah, like what motivation is there to maintain or, flex or have a little bit of give to you inside of that relationship when there's, like, just no basis there to do something like that?
And to be fair, I don't know what your family's like, so.
It just quiet and divided, man. Like, in the most extreme definition possible, divided in the sense of, like, no one can ever be getting along all at the same time. If somebody's getting along with you, it's because they're pissed at another family member, and they're going to get close to you in spite of that.
Oh. So we have, in my family, that's my sister. My sister likes to she likes to be close to at least one person in the family. Yeah, so, like, she's always upset with somebody. And right now she's upset with me. And she's upset with my dad. So she's close to Mom right now. But the moment she's upset with Mom, suddenly my sins aren't so bad.
Okay, I mean that resonates pretty intently with what I.
And I've thought about cutting her out like you have, but it doesn't bother me enough.
That's fair. And I mean, one family member versus, like, everybody doing that definitely.
Yeah. And she's got so many good attributes too. I love her to death.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's upsetting me enough at times to, like, cut her out. Just keep each other at a distance.
Right. That's fair. That's cool. And realistically, I think that's what I'm doing now. Like, what realistically happened for the people out there that are considering or on the verge of doing that, I think do it because it's what's best for you. Like, I think, again, touching base on the fact that, like, you don't have to take abuse that you wouldn't take from any other person just because somebody's family. Like, people have to take accountability for their actions and their behaviors regardless. It doesn't matter if they're a friend, if they're a family member, if they're whoever. It doesn't matter. Like, people still have to take accountability for the way that they behave. Sure. And if you have set boundaries, now there are prerequisites here. Like, again, I didn't do this in a fit of rage or, like, do this impulsively where I just, like, never talk to my family again and they're wondering, like, where is Devon? Is he okay? Like, what's going on? Like, right. Like, I tried setting boundaries first. I tried reinstating those boundaries, saying, like, hey, this is the line. Just wanted to remind you, I don't like this. I don't like when you do X, Y, and Z. This upsets me. And then, saying hurtful things towards me, and then I'm like, hey, like, this is why. And, like, this dates back to, like, this part back in childhood. And, like, this is really triggering for me, and this really upsets me. We need to talk about this. We don't talk about it. Boundaries aren't maintained or respected. You do that for, like, a year solid, trying to give your parents, because they're your parents, you love them, and you try to give them a chance to, like, put effort and just, like, show some interest in maintaining a healthy relationship with you, and they don't. Well, then that's okay. And, like, and it's not like a fuck you, I'm going to walk away. It's like hey, I love you, but I don't love what you do. And for that reason, I release you from my life with love, but I release you from my life.
I really like to refer back to a lot of things that like Jordan Peterson says.
Oh, Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot. I mean, there's some things that are like, you sure, man? But
I've had very few things that I disagree with him on.
yeah.
I think realistically, he wants to emphasize on just more traditional
Right.
American values, which are
Well, just that's fine. I mean, I get that. I get the points that he's making.
build a strong nuclear family, step one. Right?
Yeah.
Have a strong set of morals and values. What do you live for? What do you stand for?
Yeah.
That's another one. If you embody those values, your interactions with people will just improve.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
So when you stick to these things, I think my family did really well. You got a pretty reasonable bunch of people that came out of it. I will say one thing though, and I've always noticed this because we're pretty reasonable people. There's not like this crazy fire in us,
Okay.
right?
So you're just like pretty mild-tempered people, you mean?
very mild mannered.
Uh,
Have you ever seen me mad?
I've seen you pretty flustered, yeah, but not like verbally aggressive or like
You
physically
maybe have
aggressive.
seen me
or, like-
frustrated with something, right? Maybe a little bit stressed, but you've never seen me escalate. There's no
Yeah.
escalation.
Yeah.
Like, whatever frustration I'm dealing with is internal. It is mine. You might see a little bit of a hint of it, right? But you're not going to see me get violent. You're not going to see me get verbally abusive.
Right.
You're not going to see me take it out on other people.
That's the only part I would say would be like important to not do is to not take it out on other people, dude. If you like have something that's your property or like that's your own stuff and you want to like express your anger however you want, by God, just do it.
I don't really
You
see
know,
the
like
point
they
in
have
hitting
that what are those things called? Like those rooms you go and just like smash shit.
rooms, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that just smash rooms?
That's
Okay.
not like, yeah.
Overcomplicating that a little bit potentially.
Yeah. Destruction rooms.
Yeah.
No, I've had maybe a handful of times in my life where I have to hit something.
Yeah.
Like a mattress.
A mattress, damn, and that could not have been satisfying. It couldn't have been.
It was great because
No way.
let's put it this way, right? What are you hitting things for? Because you have this angry, anxious energy you want to release,
Right.
right? And that
What else?
mattress takes it like a freaking champ. And
Yeah,
by the
it's
time
like
you're
nothing
done,
happens. It just like
no, you know what
suffering
does
for a bit.
happen?
What's that?
That mattress takes it, and you're exhausted by the time you're done, and you're like, I did nothing. That
Huh.
was stupid. Yeah.
That's
Remember that. That was stupid. Move on now.
Hmm.
But I feel better. I release the energy. I hit a couple. Hit that mattress pretty good, and I'm done.
Yeah, that would be a spot where I would like don't, be shitty to yourself and be like, oh, that was stupid. Like, no, you were displaying an emotion. That's what humans have. We have emotion. Like, it
say,
wasn't
like, an
necessarily
emotion. It was-
stupid. Like, if you took that and like you dealt with that emotion by punching that mattress, and that's great, and that you caused no harm to anybody, that's great. I don't think that's stupid.
I would say getting that far and didn't take time to process and analyze it can be a little stupid. Because if I didn't do it that way, right, a lot of people wouldn't, and they would do something stupid with it. I think it leads somewhere stupid. Now, what I did in that case, right, I simply hit something that absorbed the blow. I didn't hurt myself. I didn't hurt it. I wore myself out real fast.
Right.
I moved on. So I guess that decision wasn't tremendously stupid, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds pretty great to me. That sounds like a very effective way of feeling your emotions and dealing with them in a way that does not affect other people in a negative way.
I just don't think you should ever get to the point where you want to hit something.
Why? Says who? Like,
That's a lot
why?
of anger to hold in.
Well, yeah, that's the point. You're
I'm
not
sorry,
holding it
to,
in.
to harbor, right? I think you should be able to reason through it. And admittedly, I couldn't that day, but it was very minor.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. I guess I stand in the middle,
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
us mild-mannered people do.
Like you spineless, gutless worms.
And that's the thing, though. People
No.
look at us that way sometimes, like, "Oh, you have nothing you stand for." No,
No, I'm kidding, but
It's
yes, I
just-
could see why people would say that.
it's that I just don't see the point in escalation.
Oh, I'm the same. Regardless of whether we agree or not on how to disperse and feel and deal with anger, I am 100% a brains over brawn person.
That's exactly use your brain.
100%. I will use my brain first every time.
Now, that being said, if there's someone that can get me to just fluster up real fast,
Uh huh.
it's my sister. She knows
Ah.
every button every combination. She goes X, B, Y, B, Z,
Right.
Z.
The fucking
The game
Grand Theft
controller.
Auto
Oh,
5
she
cheat
knows it.
codes. Did you remember? Did you ever play games as a kid?
Not much.
No, I didn't either. But I had a couple of games that were like, they're just baseline for like people my age. Grand Theft Auto 5, Guitar Hero, and
I was below the baseline.
I guess. Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
Really, those are the two big ones. But like, do you remember like stuff in the little sheet of paper where you like inside of the game case there was like a little hook on the side and you could write down your cheat codes of like whatever up, down, left,
That's
right,
what that
square.
was for?
And no, it's where it held the little pamphlet for the game so you could read it, which nobody did. But that's where I put my cheat codes. It's inside the game case.
I didn't have any disc-based consoles.
What'd you have then? Nintendo 64 and GameCube.
Okay. No. Don't get sad.
Damn, like Atari? What are you talking here?
Okay, so my story with gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were at maybe the GameCube. No, before that, it actually goes a little further. So my parents didn't do anything really gaming wise for us. I remember the first time we did get a game console, it was a Game Boy Color.
Oh shit, I'm
Okay.
barely old enough to remember a Game Boy Color.
And my parents were like, we have a little money, we're going to take you to Toys R Us. And Toys R Us was heaven.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember. I only went to Toys R Us once my entire childhood, but I
Same.
remember it vividly.
Once. Same.
Yep.
And we went in there, and my parents got us a Game Boy Color. 1, not 2. We had to share it.
Mm.
And we got to pick out the cool purple one that was see-through.
Oh, I remember. My
I
brother's
love
was
that one.
green see-through.
We each got one game.
Mm.
My sister got like Barbie Underwater, and I got Pokemon. And I think it came with
Oh,
a free game of
Pokemon.
Mario.
That was the other one I was thinking of. Guitar Hero, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Pokemon.
I played the hell out of Pokemon.
Yeah, I played Pokemon until honestly I felt like my eyes could have bled.
My eyes did bleed. God, you didn't push through it.
Seriously.
Yeah. So I got that, and then years later, right when I think the GameCube had come out, my dad was like, "I got us a Super Nintendo."
Do that again and talk closer to the mic. Your dad said what?
Son, happy birthday! Happy birthday! You now have a Super Nintendo. And my dad and I played the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, that's
We would
awesome.
play Mario for hours. And then a couple of birthdays later, when they were on like the Wii,
Yeah.
son, happy birthday. I have given you a Nintendo 64.
Perfect.
And that's where it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
said
at that point, I was old enough to get it myself.
Right. Now,
Like-
not to interrupt your super wholesome father-son moment, but that's where I was talking about earlier, where this is a two-way street. Your dad did that stuff when you were a kid. And now maybe you enjoy cooking and you go, hey, Dad, you enjoy cooking with him because that's just, he's dad. And that's what he does now.
That's what he wants to do.
When you were a kid, you were little Fareed. And you wanted to play, what did you say, GameCube and
I did get a
your
GameCube.
Game Boy. What did
I
you say?
had
Nintendo
Game Boy
64?
Color. I had a Super Nintendo, which him and I would go to Bookman's, and we would buy used games. Like he bought these
Bookman's,
consoles
yeah.
used, obviously, because they were so old, right? And he would never pay more than $25 for each console, like because they were so outdated.
Wow.
And so Bookman's would sell them for like $25. Here you go. And then on weekends we'd go and buy more games because they were like $3-4 a piece, right? And then the same thing with the N64. Going to the Bookman's and getting some used games, and it was great. Freaking loved it.
That's cool, man.
It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
That was a great part of my childhood. My kids will never have that.
What do you mean?
There's no, like, we won't have any games to go to buy. They're all downloadable.
Well, yeah, they're all downloadable, but you can still get games you can still buy Ataris. They're expensive now. But you can still
like,
buy
it
Ataris.
won't be relevant. Like, it won't be a thing where, like, hey, kid, guess what we're going to go do? Buy a Super Nintendo. They'd be like, I have my iPad. Leave me alone.
I mean, damn, that sounds like you're going to have some punk-ass kids already.
I'm just saying, like, the technology's going to be so far ahead that even showing them this stuff's going to be like, this is
Yeah, but that's
how
cool. That's the
they're
nostalgia of it. I mean, like, I'm not that old, but
I know
like,
what I mean.
even in my younger age, a Nintendo 64 with the cartridges you had to, like, blow into or, like, try to do a million different things to get it to actually work.
It
Like,
was my first blowjob.
what?
Yeah. blowing
fuck?
into the machine.
Oh.
It was my work. It was my job to do it. Blowing into it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing there, but yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Do you understand that I didn't understand what a blowjob was till I was like 18, 19?
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I don't remember. I think.
I thought it was fixing your game console.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%. So the joke I made is so relevant to me because it was wholesome.
That's tough. When did you lose your virginity?
18.
Okay, that's nice. Good for you, man.
So, like, relatively behind on talking to girls and everything. Like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I got there.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, surprise. This is great.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. I was hearing kids like, oh, yeah, I lost it at 13, at 12.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what?
Was, yeah, I think I was pretty young. I was like 13 or 14, yeah. And in church. Like had the coitus in a church. Yeah, so if there's a hell, I'm for sure going.
I wouldn't say that with pride.
Oh, it's just more of a reality thing. I'm more of a realist. Not much pride behind it. Just If there's a hell, I'm for sure. I've got a silver platter waiting for me down there.
I will pray for you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I don't want you to go to hell.
I don't think that
I
would
hear
be
it's a bad
enough.
place.
But yeah, as far as the family stuff, that's cool, man. Like that's super refreshing, and hopefully people can gain something from that. Because even me personally, I'm not in a place of hurt anymore with that decision. Like it's been a year. I've worked very, very, very hard to process through that and just to accept it and like not be the victim in that situation. Like, was it fair? What my childhood was like? Well, no, not really. I mean, that was the actions of, like I said, my parents and what their parents did to them. And that's really what it trickles down to, is a bunch of people passing on hurt that they just never chose to sit down and deal with. And that's fine. I would rather have a close family. I would rather be close to my parents. But I think, like, you know, even from the reality of my situation, it makes me like super happy to hear like that there are people out there. That is great. And like you have a dad that did stuff like that with you and just spent quality time. It didn't matter what you did. Like if it wasn't going to Bookman's and buying games, it would have been something else, you know.
Yep,
like
for sure.
You know, I'm sure that's not the only example you have. It's just one that you thought of, and it's like, you know, like that's refreshing and that's great. I hope that you know, obviously that translates to your future family. I know you don't have kids yet, but when you do, just you know, passing on that happiness, that wholeness.
That's what makes me sad for you, that you will never have kids.
I will not. You were correct.
Yeah. And because of that, like you had, and again, I get you don't want it, and I'm not shaming you for it, but like you had the perfect opportunity to raise and build the family you wanted. The way, you know how I look at kids?
Yeah. How's that?
It's like a Build-A-Bear workshop. But it's like a Build-A-Friend workshop. Because you're just building your friends. If you're nice to your kids and you give them some boundaries and give them some morals and values, they will develop into their own people that want to hang out with you. It's
cool. Yeah, no, I mean, hopefully.
I think we become over-emotional and we overcomplicate things. Spend time with your kids. Hang around them.
Yeah.
Support them. Scold them. Punish them when they do something wrong. Teach them right from wrong.
Right.
And you get some decent human beings.
I agree with that. I think that, like, it's like that saying that it's simple but not easy. Like
simple but not easy. Yeah, for sure.
Because like there's obviously more layers underneath of spending time with your kids and doing all those things you just said than just what.
I couldn't imagine the horrors my parents went through with me. Like just like the meningitis stuff, right? I was loopy the whole time.
I was gonna say that was more of like a horror story for you.
No, I had no idea what was going on. They thought they were losing their son. That must have been a horror story. For me, I could have died and been like, woo!
Yeah, you did sound like,
right?
You told that story, you were pretty loopy.
For them, they're like, we have no idea what's going on. We're probably going to lose our kid here, right, shortly.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what time it is. Why is everything in black and white? Yeah, I couldn't see in color sometimes. What the fuck? Yeah, it's weird.
That's insane.
So, yeah, I put my parents through some real trouble.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the trouble I think that comes to most people's mind when they...
No,
like, you got meningitis, you didn't, like, get caught selling Perk 30s, like, at school. You know? Like,
you know what I did sell at school?
What?
Game Boys I would fix. Game Boys and iPods.
I was like so much waiting for like you to say Playboy magazines or like cigarettes you took from your grandma's cabinet, and you're like, hey, yo,
No one in my family
hey, yo,
smokes.
Game Boy Colors. It ain't fixed.
Man.
It's just so starkly different. Like I never did like I did a lot of bad things growing up, but I never got caught. Like my parents never caught any strife for it. Like I stayed all the way out of trouble,
Good.
but not because I wasn't doing anything to deserve being in trouble.
because
Just
you were
because
smart
I
enough not to
never
get
got
caught.
caught. I
Yeah.
never got caught. I mean, I think I got my first crotch rocket. I got a ZX-10 when I was like 17. Ran from the cops like twice, like big time, like 170, 175 down the interstate, like
Jesus.
trail of cops behind me. Like I did crazy shit. Like I did stuff I really deserved to be like in a lot of trouble for.
We are so different, man.
We are. That's why I was saying,
like-
even in your school, you were like, oh, you know what I sold at school, and I was gonna be like, you know, Playboy magazine, something that
No,
little kids would do, and you're
For me, it was like if I wanted cool stuff, I either had to build it or fix it so I could have cool stuff. Like I wanted an iPod, right? And so I would go out, get broken iPods, buy them off kids,
Yeah.
go on eBay, buy parts to fix them. I would now have an iPod.
No shit. That's
Right?
cool. I
And
did
so-
that with dirt bikes. I always bought like
Yeah.
shit dirt bikes. Would buy them like dirt cheap.
Until my
fix them.
dad finally one day, he was like, son,
I love when you do your dad's voice.
happy birthday. Here's your iPod Classic. And I was like, oh.
Right?
It's great.
That's awesome. All because you had a good dad. I feel like we kind of.
So yeah, delete the people that don't make sense in your life. Delete those people.
And I also want to add that I don't think that has to be permanent.
That's fair.
I don't think so. I think I don't believe in the thing of like, you know, people can't change. People are just who they are. I think that's bullshit. But I think that the whole thing of like, which you have to be careful with, because you can basically like cut out anybody in your life that makes you upset if you
Uncomfortable.
live by this.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you don't want. But the second one I was gonna say is if they wanted to, they would.
No, because sometimes people don't know better.
They don't know better, but then again, like I didn't know better either. I was raised by those people, and I somehow found my way because I wanted to, and I wasn't capable at some points, and yeah, that cost me
had to
dearly.
seek
But
the
I
journey.
made the choice to learn from those mistakes, and learn from the things that were costing me dearly, and thinking like, okay, what part am I playing? What role do I have in my own suffering? And that's the part that they've just not quite grasped.
And
yet.
they probably never will, is the unfortunate part.
They might not. They're older, and that's the truth that I've lived with, and I can live with that if that's true.
I assume your father gets up every morning, grabs his paper, does a crossword puzzle, drinks too many beers.
My dad never did drink. My entire childhood
I
never
was going to say
did.
beats his wife.
Mm-mm.
No? Nothing
Nope.
like that?
No.
They just like were cold and unloving.
Yeah, very emotionally unavailable and just like physically not present in our lives, and then like emotionally for fucking sure not present. And then there was some physical aspects of some things as well.
They
like,
beat you?
early in childhood, yeah, and like throughout, like until we got older and bigger, and then it was like, hey,
So hold up. You look at that, and I'm going to say this because you're like in like very American culture,
okay,
as like abuse, right?
what?
You look at it as like they abused you, they beat you.
Right.
I look at it as, so they disciplined you? What'd you do wrong?
Yeah, but I think that comes from a thing of like where, you know, kids get their head hit against like the window of a car because they didn't do good in a basketball game. That's not disciplining.
That's not discipline. No, oh my God, they beat your head in that way?
They did that to my brother, yeah, and then I got my fair share of things for not, you know, performing well or being the son that my dad wanted me to be. Yeah.
See, when I got
I
stuff,
got more of like the verbal abuse. My brother got more of the physical abuse.
yeah, nothing like that. For me, it was like, you done screwed up, son.
Right.
So as a child, when I was younger, my dad hates it when I say these things. Like, I didn't beat you. I'm like, it's not what 5-year-old me thinks, right? And 5-year-old me is still right here telling me these things. I remember being a human being, and I think as a human being, you have space that you take up, and you like know you take up space, and you're bigger, right? You're not a dog.
Mm.
You can't just pick this up. But I was small enough that he just grabbed me by the feet, flipped me upside down, and start smacking my feet.
Your feet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no wonder you're just so
very Arab thing
chipper.
to do.
You're just so chipper and happy going, and oh, your dad beat you. What did you do wrong?
No. So you're looking at it like it's so cute, right? Like, I want you to imagine for a moment. You're standing on your 2 feet.
Right.
Then suddenly you're upside down hanging. Okay, that wasn't my choice. Yeah, you're flipped upside down. You're getting smacked on these feet. Then you get put back down. You're crying at this point because he's not like
No, I imagine it doesn't
smacking
feel great.
your feet, man. And then you have to walk on them afterwards. And you're just like, what did I just experience? What just happened to me, right? You're confused. And then for me, the other one was, these are the only like 2 that I remember. I'm sure there was plenty of other times, but I don't remember, nor do I care to. Remember doing my math homework, and I don't know why my dad got so frustrated with me. And God bless this man. This one I broke his chain there. I was doing my math homework, and I just like wasn't getting it. I was not getting it. And he sat there and he promised me, he's like, I swear if you don't like understand this, you're not going to sit for a week. And I understood that day that my dad was not a liar. I just remember like crying over my homework, like, I can't sit on this wooden chair anymore because he spanked me.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
And
at
it
all.
didn't, right? Like my dad wasn't perfect; he made mistakes.
No, that's fair. It's just like, god damn.
And like you
That's
shouldn't
just, like sometimes, man. Like I know parents make mistakes, but I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Well,
like,
we look at them as
what logical sense does that?
You're looking at them as parents, as if like there's this authoritative figure.
Parents,
you could be a parent.
A regular
I could be
person.
a parent. They're just humans.
To me, obviously not a parent. That makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
That's
right?
not gonna help a kid understand a math problem by beating the fucking crap out of him.
I got you, and I laugh at it though at this day, and I still think my dad was a great freaking dad.
Yeah, no, I don't say man.
But it's just one of those things that like, man, it's interesting in hindsight and funny in hindsight. It doesn't bug me, not in the slightest. But god damn, man, the stupid shit that like would happen to me as a kid.
Yeah.
We got our spankings, we got our stern talking tos, and we got our talks about God, and
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, that all like as a whole, that definitely all sounds fine for sure.
9 out of 10 would do again.
I love that for you, man.
Yeah, I love my childhood.
Love that for
I
you.
miss it sometimes.
Super Nintendo's,
The Super Nintendo.
and
Son,
feet smacking.
Habibi, come here, please. We're going to play Nintendo now.
Yeah.
And we'd plan it out too. Like, hey, we're gonna have dinner. I'm gonna go pray. And we're gonna come down. We're gonna sit. We're gonna play Nintendo for half an hour. Yes.
Right. That's cool.
Thank
man.
you, Dad.
Yeah.
But you know what I think it is though? They were people that put in an effort to make a healthy household, even with their problems. And my parents had.
And I think that's why you're very accepting of the mistakes, and I think that's a reasonable thing. Like that makes sense. Like why certain like things or like mistakes don't bother you, and I think like people who did have good parents, they do accept them, and like they do accept that they made mistakes. And I think that when you have the opposite of like somebody like me and my siblings who just like grew up realistically just raising ourselves, and then like the times that we did spend around our parents was just like misery and anguish and pain emotionally and physically. Like
they just beat the crap out of you. Yeah.
Like I said, not as much me. Like I mean, I don't get me wrong, I had my share, but like I would agree that mine was more discipline, and my brother's was more like abuse, and then I got more of the verbal.
I got
of
you.
like the the bullshit, like that. And then again, like I don't think that me walking away from all that has to be permanent. I don't think, because despite the again, like I try to not make this like a 3-hour long podcast, but like in an effort to not do that, like
For brevity,
like I still think, despite that experience, that family is very important. I think
Super
that it
important.
definitely, obviously you can see a stark difference between you and I in the way that we think and view things, and the way that we recollect our memories and things like that. I still believe that family is super important, and I don't think that my decision has to be permanent and forever. I just think that like when the pain of my parents' current reality becomes more painful than the realm of the unknown, which for them would probably be like accountability, therapy, uncomfortable conversations, when that seems less scary than the idea of never talking to any of their kids or grandkids for the rest of their life and dying alone, well then I think that they'll change, and I think at that point I will be ready and willing to accept them with open arms and with understanding of the fact that they are human, and that, you know, they behaved and raised kids in the way that they did and lived their lives in the way that they lived and still currently live because of, you know, the way that they chose to deal with their experiences in life and with their hurts and with their things like that. That's fair. They're human, but it is their responsibility to take accountability for that.
So to summarize,
Yeah.
I had to build a kid workshop, and then you were basically like the redheaded stepchild. All of you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my sister too. Let's not leave out my sister in that, you know.
I
But
said redheaded stepchild.
no. I'm just
Could be whatever.
I just mean, like, from my perspective, talking on the podcast, I would not want to leave my sister out of that either.
No,
Like,
no.
you know, she got, you know, she silently suffered. My sister did. Like, she just got absolutely no attention at all, and just didn't have.
That sucks.
Yeah, because she was the youngest.
Well, God bless you. I'm happy you turned out to be the guy you are. Or else I wouldn't call you my friend, right?
Right, and I think that's important to say too. Is like,
Ultimately, you make the choice of how you want your life to be.
then that is my responsibility.
If you want your life to suck, you will make choices that get your life to suck. If you want your life to thrive, you will make choices that make your life thrive.
Yeah.
And it's no one else. Doesn't matter your upbringing. Don't care The only factors that matter are the choices you make for yourself.
Yeah, and that is your responsibility entirely. Life is, like I said, universally unfair. My short end of the stick just happened to be my family dynamic. You have the choice, and you know, if you're thinking of walking away from family like that, I say if it sounds like the right decision for you,
Do it.
then to do it, and do it because you love yourself and you want to seek your higher self and you want to grow and learn and be more loving, not because you're mad or because let it go with love. Let it go and accept the fact that it could go either way. Your parents and your family members, whoever, they, like you said earlier, they might never learn. They might go to their grave with that shit. But they also might turn around and they might say, hey, you know what? I was wrong, and I've been going to therapy. I've been doing this and that. And like they might actually turn around and just be better people, and you might just end up with a healthier relationship with those said family members, you know.
I think when I have these conversations, I always lead to one song that I've heard. It's Kesha. It's called "Learn to Let Go." You should go listen to it. It's a good song.
I don't know Kesha that much.
Go listen to it. Learn to let go. It's catchy. It's poppy, but it's very much a tribute to her childhood and how she had to let go of the pain. And it's great. It's really I want to say raw in many ways, especially the music video.
Yeah,
I use a lot of her childhood videos, but yeah, that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, I think so, man. That was a good one.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Tune in with us next time where we talk about some other ridiculous, asinine, or difficult topic.
Yeah, I think the next one needs to be funny. This was a good one. This one was serious, but like next time.
Next time.
Faux show.
Adios, guys.
Peace.
We didn't do an intro.
I don't need to, man.
No?
No. What is this? A fucking...
We're gonna do an
What is
intro.
this, a game show? The Price is Right? You want a body armor or something?
Is it calorie free?
No.
No, I'm good, thank you.
What the
Do you have a water, though?
I got your water.
Take water.
I won't even make you drink it out of the tap. Actually, I might.
I don't mind tap water. Why do people think like it's a bad thing?
It's so kind of cute because it's bad for you.
It's not bad for you. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry that your water that came in a plastic bottle is better than the tap water
I drink spring water.
in a plastic fucking bottle.
Alright?
Full of BPAs.
All I'm saying is tap water wrecks my guts.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It does. Don't gas me, sir. I know what I got.
Are you hitting record right now?
We've been recording.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? You're telling me that tap water from the cleanest water in the country wrecks your guts.
Yeah.
You are basically a chihuahua. A wrecked animal that can't survive on just normal things. What?
If you keep fucking with me, I'm going to put my dick in your water. I served you ice in a nice glass. You keep it up, I'm going to put my wiener in it. That's classy right there. I did that on purpose.
What's all this stuff in my water?
Oh, God.
What's floating in my water, man?
Don't drink that. He said, I don't care. I'm doing it. Stop making eye contact with me. It's making me uncomfortable. I'm drooling.